Jan Hartson, MUFON UFO expert, discuss Roswell and possible cover-ups. The subject of UFOs has always been controversial, still is. To get a look at the subject from the perspective of MUFON, America's premier investigator of the phenomenon, we sat down with its executive director, Jan Hartson. You may know MUFON from Hangar, a popular TV series recently on the History Channel about the organization and its work with unexplained UFO sightings. In part 1 of our chat below, Hartson discusses two big UFO cases, possible cover-ups, Roswell, New Mexico, and his own encounter with a UFO. You and I may or may not agree with Hartson, but his arguments are interesting. Jim Clash. Briefly, what is MUFON? Jan Hartson. A membership-based 501. Circa 3 non-profit whose mission is the scientific study of UFOs for the benefit of humanity. We offer a place for the public to report UFO sightings, and then we assign trained MUFON field investigators to contact the witness and investigate the reports and determine exactly what happened. The information is then available to the public. We have over 1 million cases on file now, with that number growing rapidly. We are 100% publicly funded through two primary sources, memberships and donations. Give us two compelling UFO cases. Jan Hartson. One of the best documented cases of an extraterrestrial encounter is Travis Walton from November 5, 1975, near Snowflake, Arizona. Travis and 6 co-workers had just finished clearing brush in the mountains and were heading back to town when they encountered a glowing, silvery disc-shaped craft in the forest. Travis exited the cab of the truck they were in, and approached the craft. In doing so, he was struck by a beam of light, knocking him to the ground unconscious. His buddies, filled with fear, hightailed it out but returned a while later to find both Travis and the saucer gone. 5 days passed when Travis suddenly reappeared to tell the story of where he had been. He reported being aboard a craft and seeing creatures that did not look human. All 7 of the crew and Travis took, and passed, lie detector tests regarding their ordeal. The second is known as the Rendlesham Forest case, involving the U.S. military in Suffolk, England. Around 3 a.m. on December 26, 1980. Strange lights were reported by a security patrol near the east gate of Rathwood Bridge, apparently descending into nearby Rendlesham Forest. Servicemen initially thought it was a downed aircraft, but, upon entering the forest to investigate, they saw a strange glowing object, metallic in appearance, with colored lights. As they approached, it moved through the trees and left 3 impressions in the ground that were visible the next day. One of the servicemen, Sergeant Jim Peniston, later claimed to have encountered a craft of unknown origin and to have made detailed notes of its features, touched its warm surface and copied the numerous symbols that were on its body. The object flew away after their brief encounter. Why do you think governments have been buttoned up regarding the possibility of visits to Earth? Jan Hartson. Well, the real answer is we don't know. One possible reason is because they believe, rightly or wrongly, that Earth's population is not ready for such a revelation. Other thoughts are that the knowledge would create widespread panic, cripple the stock market and end religion as we know it. Another possible reason is that the technology these beings have is so far advanced, whether it be faster than light travel, time travel or other far advanced technology, that it poses a national security threat to America, especially if these capabilities were to fall into enemy hands. I tend to think it is this latter reason. Roswell, New Mexico, real or hoax? Jan Hartson. Real. Get a copy of the video presentation of Recollections of Roswell filmed by MUFON member and well-known UFO researcher Stanton Friedman. It is interviews with some 30 survivors of Roswell, including first-hand witnesses, their spouses and their children. What they tell you will send chills up your spine. If you don't believe something extraordinary happened after watching this video, then nothing will convince you. I can tell you this, it was no weather balloon. Have you seen a UFO yourself? Jan Hartson. I had the good fortune of having a close encounter with a UFO as a kid. I was 10 years old at the time with my brother Jeff, age 9, when we witnessed a landing craft in our backyard in Thousand Oaks, California. It was 30 feet from us, hovering 10 feet off the ground, making a humming noise much like a transformer on a telephone pole. There were 4 landing gear on the craft, and it was completely smooth and seamless. It was a life-changing experience, to say the least. Why should we believe extraterrestrials are interested in our planet? Well, first off, I don't think one has to believe. Just read our sighting reports. It's happening. Why is anyone's guess? If I had to make an educated guess, I would say first that our planet is unique, at least in our solar system, as 3/4 of it is water. And second, we are abundant in resources and rare earth metals. Another thought is we might be known as the vacation spot of the universe. Seriously though, it could be for any number of reasons, perhaps even just wanting to observe and study us as humans. Your Hangar 1 television series, how did it come about? Jan Hartson. In 2011, MUFON was approached by TV producer Paul Villadollard with a request to tell the story of what is in the MUFON files. MUFON has over 100,000 cases of UFO reports that need to be shared with the world. This information is vital to our growth as humans and the human race. If we are ever to become a spacefaring nation, then the reality of our neighbors visiting us is one that needs to be told. Working with Go Go Lucky Productions, Paul and his partner Doug Segal created 20 episodes over 2 seasons, 2014, 2015, of Hangar 1 for the History Channel. These were real cases from the real case files of MUFON and were very well received by the public. What's your opinion of Nevada's Area 51 as it relates to UFOs? Jan Hartson. Area 51 is a top-secret airbase for the CIA and military to test super-secret aircraft years ahead of what the general public is aware of. As best we know, there are no UFOs or aliens at Area 51. There is, however, an area just to the south and on the same Tonopah test range called S4. Based on insider information, this is where work on extraterrestrial recovered craft takes place. So when the president, or other officials proudly proclaim that there are no UFOs or aliens at Area 51, they may be technically correct because they are at S4. If there is nothing to hide, then we should all be allowed to go there as citizens of the US just like other US military bases, right? How many UFO sightings are advanced military craft the public knows nothing about? Jan Hartson. That's hard to say. I am certain that at least 5 to 10%, maybe more, of what is being reported to us could, in fact, be top-secret U.S. aircraft built for the CIA and/or military. There appears to be telltale signs of what is ours and what is theirs, e.t. Our craft are very angular-looking, with external plumbing, seams and protrusions on the body of the craft. Those of extraterrestrial origin are very smooth and integrated with no seams or rivets showing, and no protrusions. At least that's our hypothesis based on what we are seeing. Do you think we have reverse engineered a UFO? Jan Hartson. Based on the research I have done, and the people I have talked to, including first-hand witnesses, absolutely yes. It would be one of the highest priorities of the military and intelligence community to get their hands on a flying saucer of extraterrestrial origin. One source that your readers can check is that of Colonel Corso. In his book, The Day After Roswell, he talks about being in charge of the Foreign Technology Division at the Pentagon and being responsible for getting crashed saucer technology into the hands of the best in industry to figure out exactly what it was made of and how it worked. Another source is Bob Lazar, who claims to have worked at S4 near Area 51 on reverse engineering captured ET craft. His story has been checked and rechecked by CLS TV news reporter George Knapp and seems to hold together. There are others who have come forward to share their stories, although as one might imagine our intelligence community does its best to attempt to discredit them. Who are some famous people who've said they have seen UFOs? Jan Hartson. Well, my two favorites are a president and one of our original 7 Mercury astronauts, Jimmy Carter and Gordon Cooper. President Carter had his sighting while governor of Georgia in 1969 at a talk he was giving to the Lions Club. He and a dozen other people witnessed a strong blue light in the sky which he could not explain. The governor was interviewed by a UFO investigator and his report was filed with his signature on it. One may see this report on the internet by googling, Jimmy Carter UFO report. Based on personal experience with this UFO, Carter vowed in 1975 that if elected president he would make every file the US government had on UFOs available to the public. Of course, we know that never happened. Who stopped him? Isn't the president the most powerful man in the world? The second and more interesting is 2 sightings astronaut Gordon Cooper had as an Air Force F-86 fighter pilot over Europe in 1951, where he actually chased a UFO. Later, as a major at Edwards AFB in the late 1950s, a crew he was in charge of actually filmed a saucer-shaped craft descend at Edwards, extend landing gear and land. All of this was caught on motion picture film as well as in still photographs. If you'd like to know what happened to the film and photographs, read Chapter 4 of Cooper's autobiography, Leap of Faith. Suffice it to say, this whole subject is tightly controlled by the intelligence community in concert with the US military. In the words of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, who are those guys? And what is it that they don't want you and I to know? How does one become a part of MUFON? Jan Hartson. Just go to our website, MUFON.com, and click on Join. For as little as $4.99 a month, you can help support UFO research and be on the team.